Hello everyone, in this video you're from group 1 are going to examine the structure of verb phrase in English syntax, and in this presentation we will start by discussing what a verb phrase is, followed by the characteristics of verb phrases and the complements of lexical verbs. After that, we will continue with the explanation of types of lexical verbs, which include intransitive verbs, detransitive verbs, intensive verbs, complex transitive verbs, and prepositional verbs. I will explain the first part of the material, and then the explanation of types of lexical verbs will be continued by the other members of our group until the end of our presentation. So let's begin with the definition of verb phrase. So, what exactly a verb phrase? In syntax, a verb phrase or VP is a phrase that is centered on a verb and function as the predicate of a sentence. This means that the verb phrase is the part of the sentence that tells us what the subject does, what happens to the subject, or what state the subject is in. So a verb phrase can be very simple, consisting of only a single lexical verbs, or it can be more complex, including auxiliary verbs and other elements. Because of this, verb phrases play a very important role in determining the overall structure and meaning of a sentence. Now, let's move on to the characteristics of verb phrases. The most basic characteristic of a verb phrase is that only contain a verb. Without a verb phrase cannot exist. In English, verbs are divided into two main types: lexical verbs and auxiliary verbs. Lexical verbs are verbs that carry the core meaning of the action or state, such as run, eat, explain, or prepare. Auxiliary verbs, on the other hand, do not carry the main meaning of the action. Instead, they support the lexical verb by expressing grammatical information such as tense, aspect, or modality. Another important characteristic is that a full verb phrase must contain a lexical verb, while auxiliary verbs are optional and only appear when they are needed. This shows that lexical verbs are the central elements of verb phrases in syntax. Next, we will discuss the complements of lexical verbs, which is a key concept in syntactic analysis. In syntax, lexical verbs are classified based on whether they require complements or not. A complement is an element that a verb demands in order to form a complete and grammatical verb phrase. This means that complements are not optional. If a required complement is missing, a sentence will feel incomplete or ungrammatical. However, not all lexical verbs behave in the same way. Some verbs do not require any complement at all, while others require one complement or even two complements. The complements of lexical verbs can appear in different forms, such as noun phrases, adjective phrases, or prepositional phrases. Because of this variation, complements play a crucial role in shaping the structure of verb phrases. And based on the number and type of complements they take, lexical verbs in English are classified into 6 main types. These are intransitive verbs, transitive verbs, detransitive verbs, intensive verbs, complex transitive verbs, and prepositional verbs. So each of these types have different syntactic pattern, especially in terms of how many complements appear in the verb phrase and what form those complement stick. So understanding these types helps us analyze sentences more systematically and recognize patterns in verb phrase structure. So to conclude, a verb phrase is a phrase that is centered on a lexical verb and function as the predicate of a sentence. Verb phrases may include auxiliary verbs and complements, but lexical verb is always the core element. Lexical verbs are classified into different types based on the complements they require. And this classification is essential in synthetic analysis. By understanding verb phrases, we gain a clearer understanding of how sentence structure and meaning are organized in English. So with this explanation, we can now move on to the classification of lexical verbs based on the complements they take. In the next part of this video, Vika will continue the explanation by discussing the types of lexical verbs in more detail.
Hello everyone, my name is Dimas Singge from Group 1, and in this video I will explain about transitive verbs as part of the verb phrase in syntax, focusing on their structure and their relation with noun phrase complement. So let's start with the definition and the characteristic. A transitive verb is a verb that requires, memerlukan a noun phrase as its complement. This noun phrase functions as the direct object of the verb. So, the presence of the object is not optional. It is required, wajib ain, for the sentence to be complete. For example, in the sentence, she reads a novel, the verb reads needs the noun phrase a novel. Without the object, the sentence she reads feels incomplete. So, memang kalau transitive verb ini membutuhkan objek ya, agar jelas, tidak ambigu. She reads, itu tidak jelas, seperti itu. So let me give you a few examples, like he eats an apple, they like music, she reads a book. If we remove the object, the sentence becomes incomplete. He eats, they like, she reads. This is contrast with intransitive verbs. This is different from intransitive verbs such as sleep or arrive. He sleeps, she arrives. The sentences are already complete without an object. So about the pronouns and case, when the noun phrase complement is a pronoun, ketika noun phrase-nya ini, objeknya ini pronoun, it must appear in the objective case. So we should write or say they invited her. We don't say they invited she. This shows that the form of the pronoun is determined by its syntactic functions as a direct object. Okay, so now we have a tree diagram about transitive verbs. Let's take a look. In this diagram, we have NP, noun phrase, he as a subject. Then the VP has a two daughter, V and NP. This NP or noun phrase as obligatory noun because the verb bought needed. Noun phrase book as object, it's a must. Karena verbnya benar-benar membutuhkan objek. Karena jika objek di kalimat ini dihilangkan, maka kalimat ini menimbulkan pertanyaan atau ambiguity. So, to summarize, a transitive verb is defined not only by meaning, but also by its syntactic behavior. It requires a noun phrase complement. It governs the form of that complement, and this relationship is represented structurally in the verb phrase. Thank you. Dan itulah yang dinamakan transitive verb. Bagaimana dengan verb yang tidak butuh objek? Hal itu akan dibahas oleh Miss Vika on the next slide.
Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain intransitive verb in syntax and how they are represented in a tree diagram using TP structure. Previously, Dimas has explained transitive verb, and in this part, I will continue the discussion by explaining intransitive verb. An intransitive verb is a verb that does not require a complement, especially a noun phrase, to complete its meaning. This means the verb can stand alone and still form a complete predicate. Example of intransitive verb include sleep, laugh, disappear, and sigh. For example, Omar sighed. This sentence is already complete even though there is no object. And next, verb phrase in intransitive. Verb in syntax, since an intransitive verb does not select any complement, the verb alone already form a complete VP. So, there is no NP object inside the verb phrase. And now, let's look at the three diagrams. At the top of the structure, we have TP, which represent the tense phrase. TP is divided into two main parts, NP and T. The NP contains the subject, which in this sentence is Omar. Then T is divided into T and VP. The T note contains the tenses information, which is shown as plus past because the verb side is the past tense. The VP contains only the verb side labeled as V. Because side is an intransitive verb, there is no noun phrase complement inside the VP. So, this tree diagram shows that tense is represents partly NT, the verb does not take any object, and the last, the VP is complete with only the verb. To conclude, intransitive verb do not require any complement, and this can be clearly seen in the TP-based tree diagram structure.
Hello everyone, my name is Stefanus Febriano Sabubun, and now I would like to explain about the transitive verbs for you. The transitive verbs require two NPs atau noun phrase as the complements. The first NP is indirect object. Okay, it means the recipient or beneficiary of actions. To whom? Okay, subject to whom. The second NP is direct object. It means the thing being given, sent, or both. Okay, what is the thing? Focus on that. Next to the example. Example number 1. Daniel gave Sarah some flowers. Okay, Daniel as the subject. Gave to whom? To Sarah. So Sarah is indirect object. And what is the thing that Samuel gave to Sarah? Some flowers. So here is the direct object. All right, let's move to number 2. Example number 2, Leo buys his sister a new tumbler. All right, so Leo is the subject, buys is the action. Leo buys to whom? To his sister. So his sister here as indirect object. And Leo buys his sister what? What is the thing that Leo buys to his sister? A new tumbler. So a new tumbler here is the indirect object. Okay. After you know about these things, let's move to the. Okay, now let's break down the sentence. We start from Daniel gave Sarah some flowers. This is the example. Look at this. Focus on this. Okay, Daniel is the subject. Okay, Daniel is the subject. Gave here is the verb or the predicate. The code is VP, verb phrase. Okay, Sarah stand as indirect object or the first NP. Sarah, the first NP. And then sunflowers here stand as direct object or the second NP. Okay, after you break down the sentence, now that's so easy to arrange the tree diagram. Okay, let's move to the tree diagram. Daniel as the subject here, okay, is left down the TP. All right, you got TP here. TP is the 10th phrase or sentence. Okay, the code is TP, and the subject is left down the TP. In the right down the TP, here is the T bar. T bar is tenses, the tenses of the sentence. And then the tenses is plus PST. Why? Because gave here refers to past tense. Okay. And the next we have VP out here. First, in the left down the VP, we find the verb. Okay, VP, verb, and gave. And then here is the gave here, the VP here is these transitive verbs. Okay, the transitive verbs. Why? Because after the VP here, two NPs, two noun phrase. The first noun phrase is Sarah, okay, and the second noun phrase is sunflowers. Yeah, that's the way you arrange the tree diagram. Okay, now let's move to the intensive verbs. Yeah, intensive verbs are verbs that need one complement after the verb. Okay, remember one complement after the verb. The complement doesn't receive an action. Komplementnya tidak menerima action, but it gives information about the subject. Okay, the complement gives information. For example, Anna is very confident. Anna is very confident. Anna as the subject is the predicate. Okay, stand as the predicate. Very confident is adjective phrase. And the very confident di sini explain about Anna. Okay, the next example is Marcus was a teacher. Marcus is a verb. No, Marcus is a subject. Was is a verb or predicate. What is a predicate? And a teacher here is the NP. Okay, a teacher here is the complements. A P is complements, and P is complements. A teacher is complements, very confident is complements. Okay, a teacher explained what Marcus was. And then the third is the key were on the table. The key, the keys, the subject, word is the predicate, and on the table is prepositional phrase. So on the table here, explain where the keys were. Right? Okay. So very confident. A teacher, and on the table here, the phrase out here, phrases out here explain the subject. Next, let's break down the sentence again. Breaking the sentence. Let's start from Marcus. Marcus was a teacher. Marcus here stands as the subject. And then was is a verb. The code is still VP. And a teacher is complement or NP. Okay. I wrote down this. The VP can be auxiliary to be or to be such as is, am, are, was, were, have been, has been, will be, and etc. Okay. So let's move to the tree diagram. Marcus was a teacher. Look at this. Marcus as a subject. As usual, TP here. We have TP here. And Marcus in the left down the TP. Okay, Marcus as NP or noun phrase. Karena Marcus adalah noun. After the TP, we have T bar here. As usual, plus PST or minus PST. Kebetulan was here, was, the verb is was, so this is plus PST menggunakan rumus past tense. After the T bar, we got the VP out here. Always VP after T bar. Okay. Now the VP, left down the VP, we have the verb, of course. The verb. What is the verb? Yeah, was. Was is the verb. So this is an intensive verb. Okay, intensive verbs. Because after this is Marcus was, we have keterangan. Okay, a phrase that explains the subject, a teaching. And we wrote down like this. And P, first you can uh, took it down, noun, N bar as a noun bar or noun. After that, noun and teacher. Okay, this is first. After that, you can write down the determiner and article is A. This is number two. Okay, so in conclusion, intensive verbs, remember that the complements of the subject is explaining the subject. The complements explaining the subject. It's different with the transitive verbs. Okay. Okay. This is all I can say to you, and thank you for your attention. I'm Evan. Peace. I'm out.
Now, I will start by explaining complex transitive verbs. It is verb that needs two elements after the verbs to complete the meaning. The first one is the direct object, and the second one is called object complement. The direct object is the thing or person that receive the action. The object complement gives extra meaning to the object. It can be describes, identifies, labels, or change the state of the object. So the sentence feel complete only if both parts are present. The pattern or the structure is subject plus predicate plus direct object, then object complement. Now let's move to the examples. Example 1, I will make you happy. In this sentence, you adalah direct object and happy is the object complement. Kenapa? Karena you itu adalah objek yang dikenai verbs, dikenai predicate make. Dan happy menjelaskan kondisi baru setelah dikenai make, kondisi baru dari you. Jika tidak ada happy, kalimat tidak lengkap. Just like I will make you bla bla bla. Seperti ada yang hilang. So kalimat ini jelas membutuhkan objek complement. And then example 2, they called me a psychopath. Direct object di sini adalah me. A psychopath is the object complement because melabelkan me. Karena me adalah objek yang dikenai kata kerja predicate dari called, and a psychopath yang melabeli atau yang mengidentifikasi objek yang dikenai verbs tersebut. So kalimat they called me psychopath butuh sebuah psychopath sebagai objek complement untuk melabelkan sebuah direct object yang dikenai oleh verbs called. And then example 3, likes shall guide you home. In this sentence, you adalah direct object and home is the object complement because it express lokasi, the final location. Karena you di sini adalah dikenai adalah objek yang dikenai verbs guide yang bertujuan ke final location tadi, yaitu objek komplementnya sebagai objek komplement yaitu home. Tanpa home maknanya terasa tidak tuntas. And then nah, kalau kita lihat pada tree diagram, kita bisa melihat bagaimana kalimat di called a psychopath sebagai complex transitive verbs itu tersusun. Di sini ada, oke, kita mulai awal dari TP. TP menghasilkan NP dan ibar, dan tibarnya menghasilkan T dan VP. T di sini jelas plus PST, lalu VP menghasilkan V. V di sini ada called dan ada NP sebagai direct object yaitu me, dan ada NP sebagai sister lagi yaitu sebagai objek komplementnya yaitu a psychopath. Jadi VP di sini mempunyai 3 dokter, V, NP dan NP sebagai direct object yang pertama, me, dan NP sebagai objek komplement yang melabeli me yang dikenai verbs called. Oke, ini sekilas mirip ya dengan susunannya sekilas mirip dengan di transitive verbs. Tapi yang membedakan adalah fungsi dari kedua verbs ini yang mari kita ulas sebentar. Untuk yang di transitive verb yang dijelaskan oleh Stefanus sebelumnya adalah tentang verbs yang harus punya dua objek yang berbeda. Yang satu direct, yang satu indirect, seperti memberikan sesuatu, siapa yang diberi dan apa yang diberikan. Sedangkan untuk di bagian kompleks transitif ini adalah verbs yang butuh memang dua elemen, tapi tidak semuanya objek. Bisa dikatakan satu objek dan satu elemen lain itu adalah komplement yang mengidentifikasi, melabeli objek tersebut, objek yang telah dikenai oleh verbs. Nah, itu perbedaannya. Okay, now let's continue to the last lexical verbs. Prepositional verbs. Prepositional verbs are verbs that must be followed by a specific prepositions. Jadi prepositional verbs di sini wajib ya, obligatory, bukan optional atau bukan juga sebagai keterangan tambahan. Because dalam kasus prepositional verbs, if we remove the preposition, the meaning becomes unclear or ungrammatical. The pattern is subject, predicate, plus prepositional phrases, PP. And now let's look at the examples. The first example, you swore on every star. You swore on every star itu jadi berbeda jika you swore every star, akan tidak nyambung karena benar-benar butuh preposition on. You swore on every star. You swore, jika diganti you swore at every star juga tidak masuk akal, akan berbeda lain. Dan example yang kedua adalah my sword thirsts for blood. Itu jika for diganti atau dihilangkan akan tidak sesuai artinya dengan yang dimaksud. Karena itu for blood berfungsi sebagai obligatory prepositional phrase. And then the example 3, we march into the battlefield. We march the battlefield. Terasa tidak natural. Verb march pada makna ini perlu into, march into, nyambung dan saling melengkapi. Jika dipisah atau diganti akan menjadi makna lain. So it's obligatory PP. And then beginilah penampakannya jika dalam bentuk tree diagram. VP akan menghasilkan V dan PP. Untuk prepositional verbs, PP akan selalu jadi sister dari V karena mereka saling terhubung. Gak boleh terpisah. Dan PP sendiri biasanya punya daughter, P dan NP. So, jadi itulah pembahasan saya tentang complex transitive verbs and prepositional verbs. For the next, our video akan ditutup oleh Miss Andini dengan summary of verb phrases. Thank you.
Okay, so we have already finished exploring the structure of the verb phrase, which has been explained by my friends earlier. From the definition and characteristic to the different types of lexical verbs, we can see that verb phrases are not only about verbs, but also about the complements they require. Some verbs can stand alone without any complement, while others need one or even two complements to complete their meaning. We also learned that some verbs link the subject to extra information. Some describe or change the object, and others must be followed by a specific preposition. So overall, the structure of a verb phrase depends on the type of verbs and the complements it takes. Understanding this help us analyze English sentence structures more clearly in syntax. So that's all from Group 1. Thank you for watching and we hope you find it useful. See you!